Good morning, this is Florida Plant Mama coming to you from Zone 10A, Central Florida. I'm in my jungle this morning and we've got to get things under control. It is the end of May and this place has sprouted out amazingly. We've got vegetation everywhere, and before it gets completely out of control, I've got to come around and clean a few things up. There's always maintenance to do in the yard, and today is that day. It's pretty hot here, as I say quite often, but we are now in the thick of it. It's not summer yet, but it is scorching, so it's way too late now to start most things from seed outside. They just don't do well. They wither and die in the heat. So we're not doing a whole lot of starting of seeds right now. Right now we're pretty much just, by we again, I mean me, pretty much just harvesting things and maintaining the garden, trimming things, pruning things, picking fruit and vegetables. That's our plan for the month of the end of May, June, and pretty much the first, or pretty much the entire July. So we're just gonna maintain a few things today. We're gonna clean up just a little bit so that I can get through here without being attacked by all the vegetation. Thanks for joining me. So we got sweet potato slips in the mail, and I'm gonna get those out and see what they look like before I do anything else. They arrived here 2 days ago and I was not home, so they kind of sat in the mailbox for a little while, and I'm hoping that their condition is still good. These are sweet potato slips that I got from Southern Exposure Seeds. So we've got, let's see, the instructions came in the box, and we've got our slips here. They look a little beat up, but not too bad considering their trip. So yes, we've got our all-purple sweet potato and our Beauregard sweet potato. I just wanted to see if it'd make a difference to start the sweet potatoes from purchased slips as opposed to from the slips that I create with the regular grocery store potatoes. This is my first time purchasing slips. Usually I just get an organic potato from the grocery store and get the slips from there. So we've got to get these hydrated and planted in some dirt because they've had a rough road. You can see some of the leaves are withered and tattered, but they expect some of that to happen in transit. Itchy this morning. All right, so that's our sweet potatoes that we've got to get prepped. When your sweet potato slips arrive, don't worry, your slips are wilted or don't have roots. This is normal. Place the root ends in water or plant your slips as soon as possible. It's important to keep them moist for the first few weeks as they develop. Slips may be stored in water in a warm, sunny location for up to 5 days before planting. If you need more time to get your garden bed ready, or if your weather or soil is still too cool, your slips may be healed in a greenhouse, flat, or nursery bed for transplanting later. See below for more planting details about planting. With good care, your slips will perk up and roots will develop rapidly. Okay. All right, let's get these slips in some water and move on to the next task. So this is the corn experiment. I think this corn experiment may be a fail. The stalks have all started turning brown, and there's evidence of insect infestation here. Some of them have been pollinated, but none of them have been pollinated completely. And as you can see, this does not look very tasty at all. So I think I'm going to end this corn experiment. It was fun while it lasted. The stalks were beautiful initially, but I think I am done growing corn. I am going to choose a different crop that maybe likes it here a little bit better, at least for now. I'm not going to grow corn again the next available season. It just requires too much effort and way too much fertilizer. My organic fertilizer just doesn't cut it. And then because it's been such a mild winter, the insects, the minute it got warm, came through and they are wreaking havoc. So I'm going to work smarter, not harder, and I'm gonna let go of the corn dream for next season. We were doing good there for a minute, but sometimes you win some in the garden and sometimes you lose some. And I think I have lost the corn battle. It's time to move on to another crop. This is probably the only semi, I don't really need to call it pretty, ear of corn. This is my best ear of corn, folks. Isn't it pitiful? Oh, this is awful. I knew it was a possibility. When I planted this corn, I knew I might have some struggles, and that's okay. It happens. That's how you learn what you can grow and what you can't grow. This, I guess I will turn into a new sweet potato bed. Sweet potatoes are definitely something that will grow in this heat, and I don't mind occupying this bed long term. I think in the spring I'll put some more chamomile in here. I need more chamomile. I promise I'm still trying to head over to this sweet potato patch, but again, something to do along the way. I've been meaning to stake these flowers, and like I said, today is the day we tidy. I remember I used to watch the YouTube videos of some folks working in the garden, and I always wondered, how does everything look so upright and pretty and neat in the videos when my stuff is flopping over left and right? What are they doing that I am not doing? Why do my plants grow crazy? And I realized they stake. They stake the plants, and you just can't really see the stakes in the videos. So I have taken to staking up my plants. When they get in the way or when they start flopping, we just stake them up. Simple fix. Now I've got to do the Stokes aster, because it is definitely in the way. So let's get this guy staked up as well. Pretty simple. Just some twine, some scissors. We just gather up these stalks here like so. Pretty, look at that flower. And I just wrap the twine around them. And we tie the bundle to the stake. There we go. Now, if you can reach for the sun, just going to deadhead a few of these that have opened already in my absence, so that our current blooms bloom their best. There we go. Very pretty. I'm still on my way to the sweet potato bed that I wanted to show you. But, of course, this monstrosity captured my attention. It is a beautiful monstrosity, and it is loving this space. So this is the type of thing we've got to do periodically to make this garden continue to be inviting for not just the wildlife, but for me and anyone else who's brave enough to enter. Okay, just gonna gather it all up here. Come on, guys. Let's gather. Uh-oh, lost the end of my twine. Here we go. Okay. And I'm just gonna tie this bunch here. My own personal bouquet. There we go. Maintenance in the garden is very important. I love planting, but you've got to maintain what you've planted. And you got to get out periodically, check your garden, tidy it up, cut back things that become overgrown, so they don't smother the things that you want to continue growing. Perfect example is this cranberry hibiscus. I love the way it grows, and I love that it's so abundant, but if you let it, it will take over your entire garden, the entire thing. So I just come in and cut it back like I cut back everything else that's in my way. And it grows back very, very easily. It's gotten some grapevines that are a little wayward here also. And just throw them back around the trellis. And then got these guys here. Cut back. They don't mind the prune. And then I've got another gathering here of these black-eyed Susans or Rudbeckia. I'm gonna go ahead and stake those up as well. And no, folks, I still haven't made it to the sweet potato bed. We've made it to the onion bed, one of them anyway, and I'd say this is a fail. These onions were doing well initially, but I don't know what happened. I don't think I got enough water back here, and I stopped fertilizing a little too soon, I think, because I've got these wimpy-dimpy little onions. So what I have decided is we will no longer be doing onions in separate beds. I'm going to do what I've done in the past and interplant my onions because it's just too much attention to pay in one spot. So these, if you call that a bulb, I don't know if you can really call that even a bulb. It's tiny. And here's the other. Those are completely desiccated. Like, I don't even see most of the bulbs in here. It's just a sad shame. So, got a couple things that I can maybe dry and make onion powder, but it's pretty pitiful. So we have our onion failed this year. It's okay. We'll try again next season. Can you guess what I'm gonna put in these beds? Yes, sweet potatoes. Yay! We're going to lick our wounds, bury in these onions, put a little compost in these beds, and we're gonna put in our sweet potato slips. Sweet potatoes love to grow this time of year, so we're gonna go ahead and give the ground what it wants, sweet potatoes. I wanna cry a little bit because this nectarine tree here and the one behind it had several nectarines on them last week. Where are those nectarines now? I don't know. And I'm pretty sad about it. I low-key want to cry. I have no nectarines on this tree. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to go ahead and prune this tree. I've gone ahead and trimmed down these bare nectarine trees. So sad I won't be eating nectarines this season, but it was their first real season, so it's okay. Next time I'll know better and I'll bag the nectarine trees like I did the plum trees, because I was gone for about 4 days and something ravished the few little nectarines I had on this tree. Here are the chopped tops of those nectarines. I go ahead and prune right after the fruit is done. That way I open up the canopy and they continue to grow throughout the summer. I gotta control these trees so that everything doesn't get away from me. So I put the tops here as chop and drop, and they decay and continue to feed the garden. Oh, there goes Finley again. I've got these bananas here, and here, and here. What the heck am I gonna do with all these bananas? I don't know, but I will figure it out. People will be getting banana gifts left and right. Okay, we finally made it to the actual sweet potato bed or pot. I don't know. Anyway, these are where I've planted my sweet potatoes. And as you can see, I just laid a few organic store-bought sweet potatoes in here and allowed them to sprout. Now what I'm going to do is cover this area with a layer of compost, exposing just some of these leaves so the sweet potatoes continue to vine in here. I've allowed some of them to come out of the pot and trail along the ground because I would like there to be sweet potato ground cover. And then I'll add the new sweet potatoes to the old onion beds. It is time for the tomatoes to go. They are dried out, they are diseased. I will pick the ripe fruit and get rid of the rest. It is time. Tomato season is over for me in Central Florida. I'm gonna put bags all in this area like I planned to do initially. And we're gonna try and get a crop of cucumbers continuing for the spring and the fall. I'm also gonna plant a couple of Seminole pumpkins over here and see what they do for the summer. Let me clean up and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, I spent several minutes here getting very sweaty and hot. I had to go get the water. See my cup over there. Cleaning this all up. Got a few things harvested. The area is all cleaned up. So now what, you ask? Sometimes I'm sad about pulling out the old spent things, but the other way that I think about it that makes me feel much better is that this is all a clean slate. Time to plant some more in this clean slate. So I'm gonna get bags all along here because I think I've got a mole or vole. I believe I've told you about him before. And I keep getting holes in this dirt here. So to remedy that situation, I'm just gonna put bags here and plant. As you can see, I've got some cucumber plants growing here. They look a little thirsty right now. We're starting to do our flowering. It's pretty late in the season for these cucumbers. But I did plant Armenian cucumbers here, hoping that they would have a chance in this heat. There's some other varieties of cucumbers here too. I just kind of planted a bunch of different types, hoping to see if I can find one that is happy with the late May situation. I'm just not ready to give up on the cucumbers just yet. It is way too late to be planting cucumbers, but I'm just not ready to give up on my cucumber dreams. I got no cucumbers for the spring season. And I will likely not get any cucumbers for the summer season either. But, you know, there's always fall and we can keep trying. At least these beds won't be empty. So I'm gonna put bags all through here and get it started again. This is the pepper, carrot, kohlrabi, I think black-eyed Susan, but now I'm starting to think that this is some kind of, I think it is a black-eyed Susan, but they haven't opened yet. But they kind of look like sunflowers. I guess I'll see once the flowers open. But anyway, this is supposed to be my sweet pepper bed. I have 2 sweet pepper beds. But I've interplanted some other things in there. I'm gonna go pepper hunting now, and I'm finally going to pull these carrots. Got a few. these peppers will start to get yucky if they grow through the summer. Oh, I broke it. That would have been a nice one. Broke it. A few kohlrabi that are ready as well. This bed is going to be quite naked now that the carrots are out. And I hate having naked space in the garden. So I've got to figure out what else to do in here. I think I'm gonna find some cubanelles that have already been started and put some more cubanelles in here. I can always cover with some shade cloth for the brunt of the summer heat. I think that's what I'll do. Got some carrots over in this section too. They are also probably about ready for harvesting. They may not be, only because I planted them late. They'll do. They're small, but I think they're ready. Got a bunch. Nice. These are Nantes carrots. Sorry about the video footage here. I know it's a little shaky. Get these all out. Good morning, everyone. It's the next day. No, I didn't manage to get those sweet potatoes in the ground yesterday. I got so distracted with other things, as happens in the yard all the time. So today I'm actually going to get these sweet potato slips in the ground, and I am going to complete a couple more maintenance tasks, and hopefully I'll get more of the things on my list done today than yesterday. I mean, garden work is never really done. We just do as much as we can each day, and the list just keeps evolving. Here I've got the fruit trees, the frost-sensitive fruit trees. I'm gonna move them around a bit and make sure that the area behind them is clean, and make sure that each plant is looking okay. Periodically I separate them this way so that I can figure out what needs to be done with them. It's difficult to see them when they're all clumped up. So I'm going to put you on time lapse as I clean up behind these trees. Moving the pots around like that is a little bit of extra work, but it helps me to see the base of each plant and the condition of each plant, because when they're grouped together like this, you see them as a big bunch, not really as their individual selves. And you can see I butchered some of the Everglades tomatoes that were growing at their bases. I don't need that many Everglades tomatoes, and I don't want them taking from the nutrients of the trees. So I did get rid of many of those volunteer Everglades tomato, and this is what it's looking like. Just need to make sure everything has enough aeration. They can touch. I just don't want them stifling one another. I think this one can be turned just a little bit. There we go. There. I want to give this banana tree its permanent home today. So I've got to go out there and find a space for it. I think I know where I want to go, but I've got to clear the space for it. So I'm not going to put it back in that tree area because I will forget. I've decided to put the banana tree there. I didn't have me on camera painstakingly digging this hole. As you can see, I'm out of breath, or you probably hear I'm out of breath. There was that big rock over there in the dirt. I hate the builders. Anyway, that's where I'm going to put it. I think it'll get some protection, some sun. It's in its little tropical spot, gets good moisture. So that's where the little finger banana tree is going. Let me get it in the ground and I'll show you what it looks like once it's completely planted. She's gonna get a nice layer of compost around her base. And she will just be fine in here. And look what I found, guys, which I thought was hilarious. Remember those blueberries that I pulled out because I didn't like the way they were, and I just used them as kind of chop and drop? Well, look at this. I kind of threw it in up underneath one of the trees. And look at it. It has blueberries on it. This is the most neglected plant of life. Literally, it was on the ground like this. And I guess that little bit of dirt around it was enough to keep it going. And it's alive. It's got debris in the container around it. It's probably, insulated a bit. But now I can't bear to throw this plant away after it struggled so hard to survive. The sad thing is, I'll probably kill it and try to nurture it back to optimal health. But it actually has blueberries on it. Look, here's a ripe blueberry from this bush. Can you see it? Let's see if I can get to focus. Cannot believe it. Okay. So, now I gotta get off to Home Depot or Lowe's and get some compost for these new sweet potato bins so I can get these sweet potatoes in the ground. The kumquat tree is blooming again. Actually got a grapevine stuck in here. See if I can get it out. Oh, these grapevines. This grapevine is determined, huh? This is not even what I came over here to do. I came to prune this, what is it? The Suriname cherry tree. Back to this Suriname tree. Look, once again, I'm clipping things that have nothing to do with the Suriname tree. But while I'm here, it's just easier to do it. Just like yesterday, I almost forgot. I finished pruning this tree. It still has fruit on it. But I'm not waiting for those. This tree is supposed to be, or I want it to be maintained as a bush. So, get in here and get rid of all these sprawling arms and legs. She's down to a manageable height. If you didn't know, we're about to enter rainy season, we hope. And rainy season, it's like daily rainstorms. So it brings a lot of mildew and disease if your trees don't have enough aeration. Trees and bushes, flowers, all your vegetation, if there's not enough aeration, then it's the potential for disease. I leave the debris right there. It's part of the food forest. It'll help feed the ground. And there is the Suriname bush. And here is a kumquat. It's making a second blooming, even though I still got fruit from the winter months on there. Okay. I truly did not think that I was going to get back out here today because it is hitting like 100 degrees today and it is humid, it is hot. I could not find my hat. I had to borrow my husband's hat, but I've got to get that dirt prepped for those sweet potato slips because I don't want them sitting in that bucket for too long. So if nothing else, I'm going to finish out the day with filling up those bins with the compost and the soil and putting down some mulch and just kind of cleaning up the debris, the scattered debris in the yard. If I need to, I can always plant those slips early in the morning tomorrow. It might be actually better to do that very early in the morning, plant those slips. Oh my goodness, that is it for today, people. I am done. I did that couple of things and I'm exhausted. Can you see the sweat on my face? I just did that little bit of stuff. I probably look crazy right now. My mouth is dry. I'm sweaty. I'm hot. I am going to change and I'm going to get in the pool. That's what the plan is. I did not plant those sweet potatoes. It's way too hot to plant those sweet potato slips. I don't want them to wilt any more than they have. They would be stressed out in this heat. So I put down a little bit of mulch. I cleaned up some of the debris, not even all of it. And I did those little time-lapse things that you saw, and that is it. Florida Plant Mama, out. It is morning number 3, and I'm finally going to get these sweet potato slips in. I woke up this morning specifically to get this task done. It's really the simplest task of life, but it has taken me 3 days to finally get to this on my list of chores. Here's one of the beds. We're going to do these. They are the, what are they called? The Beauregard sweet potatoes. They take 100 days before they are ready. And it says that they are reliable and high yielding with deep orange skin. So we got those from Southern Exposure. We're gonna get them in this particular bin. So planting sweet potatoes is as easy as this. Got one start here or slip. We pop it in the dirt and we cover it up. That's it. And let's do another. Slip with a little bit of a root system. Pop it in, cover it up. I'm putting them pretty deep because they will develop more roots along the stem. And the more roots they have, the more chances for sweet potato. Not to mention, as they get a little bit more mature and they sprout out a bit, I'm going to do what I did in the other bin and put some dirt on top. Get that a little bit deeper. For over here, we've got all purple sweet potato. It takes 120 days to mature. It's a Japanese variety with dark purple flesh. Again, from Southern Exposures. There's this slip that has multiple stems. So it's the same thing. Dig a hole, pop it in, and bury. That's it. It really is that simple. Sweet potatoes don't require that much by way of nutrition in the dirt. So we simply plant them and wait. Sweet potatoes are finally in. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.